Welcome to Married to Movies. Industry insiders John Russell and Tracy Kring live and work happily in cinematrimony. They're sharing behind-the-scenes adventures of writing, producing, and appreciating films.
Good morning, babe.
Good morning, babe.
I haven't seen you in forever.
It's been forever and ever and ever and a day.
You've been shooting on a movie up in the Ticonderoga area.
Vermont and Canadian border. It's weird. It's one of those areas where, like, if you go left, it's the name of one town. If you go right, it's the name of another town.
Right.
But I have to drive back up today because we are shooting tomorrow. This is my first day off. I've been gone for 9 days, man.
Wow. I never thought I would make it. While you've been gone, I've been working with our producer on Sky Valley to get ready for AFM.
Right. He leaves today.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what time it is right now, but yeah. No, I think he leaves this evening.
Yeah. Well, this evening's still part of today, babe.
But it's not right now.
That's true. It's not. It's not right now. He will be at AFM for 3 days. We even sprung for the better pass so that he could get into more things, you know.
Thanks for reminding me. I need to pay for that.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Now that I'm on something for, like, my anxiety, I don't get anxious about the things I used to get anxious about.
Okay.
To the point where I may completely forget them. I didn't realize how much my anxiety was affecting every aspect of my life.
Right.
Like, it wasn't that I just absolutely believed in paying the bills on the last day of every month.
But explain that to me in terms of how can you make sure that you don't become less efficient in your life?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I'm working on that because I have to learn how to be efficient without the anxiety keeping me that way. It's just a behavior that I realize, the anxiety of performing that task or not doing that thing, like let's say pay the bills on the last day of the month. The anxiety of that, the constant tape playing in your head, like tomorrow, in a week you pay the bills, in 5 days you pay the bills, in 3 days you pay the bills. Right. Without that record playing, I have to set up reminders for myself. It's weird because it's really the only thing that has really changed is that kind of, it's a little bit more than anxiety. It was kind of compulsive. That compulsive thought process, And something like, hey, can you upgrade, our producer's pass if I don't, like, make a note for myself or do it right then?
Right.
Which my anxiety would have said, do it right now. Right? So it never would get put off. But if it does get put off, there's no anxiety there to keep it relevant.
Right.
Right?
Sure.
It's just kind of a thing that I'm trying to work out. How am I efficient? What are the things that you have a deadline? Right. But I'm not stressed out about the deadline, and I'm able to have realistic expectations for myself and not feel like through the whole process I'm working myself to death.
I think one of the things you learn as you're going along, the idea of just putting something like, if I just don't think about that, maybe that'll go away. You learn that just doesn't happen. As you had the anxiety issue, I had the issue of just like, okay, there was somebody I don't want to talk to and I don't want to deal with the situation. So instead of dealing with the situation, I would just sort of like hide under a rock and hope that they would forget about me.
Right.
They're going to forget about... and you have to think about the fact that, wait a second, why are they going to forget about you? You're not forgetting about them. It's not like you have this superior brain that is, going to remember all of the things that you should have done, and they're not. It's a different thing. It's a different kind of fear that I've had to get over. But I think everybody has something like. On our set, our director, she's a lovely person. She's made half a dozen films. Some of them like really interesting historical like epics. She did this one about this like serial killer that she shot in the exact same area. She was going to do a World War II film.
Whoa.
But COVID hit. No, I mean, that's the kind of thing that happened during COVID. Any sort of big thing, any sort of big project that you had already sunk your money into, man, it's gone.
You had to postpone. Or it died.
What are you going to do? Postpone for 2 years? You can't postpone.
Well, it was like everybody was supposed to shelter in place, and then there wasn't even any conception of how to move forward for a long time, really. You know, until SAG was like, okay, this is how we keep our set safe. People were just like raw dogging it out there before then.
Whoa! We're raw dogging.
I wouldn't do that because COVID was still scary at that point.
It was very scary. Disinfecting their groceries.
And now I heard somebody talking about, like, you know, aerosolizing COVID and then testing surfaces and skin and masks and stuff.
I heard that this morning. You were
and they were
to
like, the study showed that there's not as much to worry about as we originally thought. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. But people still get COVID.
But you should still wear your mask when you have COVID, right?
You still shouldn't be outside of the house.
Right.
With other people, period.
Never leave your home.
If you have COVID, until you're COVID, you know, over COVID, I don't think you should leave your house.
Right.
That would be rude.
Right.
The flu is the normal flu has been very bad in the past, and we never gave a shit about giving it to each other.
No.
And it was almost comical.
Yeah, but the flu doesn't kill you like COVID.
Well, and COVID doesn't really kill you that much anymore, but people still die of the flu.
And people still die of COVID.
Yeah.
They do. If you're like older or like, you know, infirm and, you know, have issues, you know, we have to protect each other.
In your family, like, there were many, many years when the kids were smaller that they would make us violently ill.
We were raw dogging it.
Yeah, and we would know the kids were all sick, and we would still go, and we would still hang out and do everything the same.
It was like a joke. How sick were we going to get during this holiday season?
It was a joke.
Yes.
It was a joke, yeah.
Like, how many people? Is there anyone that is not going to become violently ill on this Thanksgiving or Christmas season? My
favorite of these is the time that I was still doing okay. I was not quite sick yet, but it would come, and I would have to stay in bed for like 5 days.
Right.
I really only got to come out Christmas Eve of my bedroom. You were really sick, and I woke up because I heard something outside my window.
Outside your window. Out on the yard, there rose such a clatter. I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. And what to my wondering eyes should appear, but...
my husband, in his underwear, puking his guts out on the front lawn.
That's right. It doesn't have quite the same ring to it.
And then I was like, I better get up and check on him. And I had to pee. Sorry, it was not that concerning to check on you, evidently. So I turned to go to the bathroom, and I took a picture of my little nephew because he was in his little underwear laying on the bathroom shower mat, just passed out from having been hugging the toilet.
There you go.
I love that picture.
It was a rough night. It was a rough night, folks. It was a rough night.
No, but I have to say, because it's November 1st, like, I'm just totally, it's Christmas now.
It's Christmas time. So we're shooting this movie, and it's about her father and working in the mines. Okay? He was in the mines of Moria. Wait a second. It's called... It's Moria, New York, and the mines of Moria are from the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, is that what they're called?
Yes, the mines of Moria. He was like the dwarf guy.
Oh, what is Gimli?
Yeah, man.
You know,
That's so weird.
The mines of Moria. That's funny that you're shooting in Moria,
right?
Which is like Moria. That's cool.
That is very cool.
That's very strange.
That is very strange. I'm sure that connection has been made many, many times. I want a T-shirt, the Mines of Moria, and have like guys with like long beards on them and stuff.
But I don't think there's actually mines there.
Well,
you have to go somewhere else to shoot mines.
Yes.
Well, there are mines, but
we went to Ironville. Shoot Ironville.
So did they used to mine iron ore there?
Yes. Oh. It was iron ore. Yes. They mined iron ore, and we're also going to be shooting in Mineville. So they keep this.
So it's very miney.
Very literal. Ironville, Mineville. They bought their oranges in Orangeville.
There's a thing that will happen on set sometimes where, yeah, everybody's just kind of talking at the same time. And depending on like what set you're on, sometimes you're in a very small space.
Right.
And I have certainly had issues with like overstimming, like getting overstimulated.
Yeah.
You know? And
That's kind of the thing.
Oh, God. I remember on one shoot, we were in a very small, like low ceiling basement. And the voices, were just amplified.
These
in
are
that tiny space.
extraordinarily low ceiling rooms. We're shooting in like this, kind of historic museum period, and
houses were built different back then.
Yeah, they were built for short people.
Why are people taller now?
Monsanto made people freakish. Yes. No. I mean, no, literally, it has to do with your diet. It has to do with how healthy you are. And when you're,
But hold on. Like, I've heard people talk about people in Guatemala, how
Yes.
they are so short because
Right.
they are actually like very, they don't have very good nutrition.
Right.
And that generationally, that has affected their health.
Right, of course.
And their height.
Right.
But if people from the past, like when you look at their beds and your kneecaps would hang off of them,
Right.
they were shorter.
Right. But that's
Does that mean we're healthier?
I mean, it means that we've been eating things
With
that,
hormones.
that grow
sure.
us. Yes.
Well, yeah, like a growth hormone given to
Sure.
a cow
Sure.
to be able to harvest it faster or genetically modifying
Right.
wheat and all these things. Sure. That's trickling over to us. But I don't know. It's just weird because are we going to keep getting taller?
I don't know.
How does that work?
Eventually we will be like 9 feet tall or something like that.
Well, like
genetically.
fish, if you put them in different
Maybe.
sizes, they grow to fit the size of the ecosystem.
It's possible.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Monsanto food, and this is very disturbing to me.
Ooh.
I had like some lettuce that was like the top part of it was rotten,
I don't know why you were disturbed by this.
and then I had like cut up some cabbage.
I don't know why you were disturbed by this.
Look,
you told me this.
There
and I'm
is
just
look
like,
right there is the lettuce out there.
yes.
Now,
Yes.
lettuce is like everything in the world eats lettuce.
Yes.
Mice,
Yes.
deer, rabbits,
Right.
like anything would eat that.
Right.
And it's completely untouched.
Yeah, but see, how often do deer come down this close to the house?
At night.
No,
I've
they
definitely
really don't.
seen deer poop right there.
They really don't. They stay up there. You have to toss that lettuce, man. That lettuce got to get tossed.
But out in the front yard,
yeah.
it's pretty far out. And that was like the core of a cabbage. I mean, like,
Right.
what's not going to love that? And they won't touch any of it. There's a cucumber over there that I threw out.
Yeah. It still had plastic on it, though.
No, some of it did.
Yeah, I saw it. I threw it out further because it still had plastic on it.
Well,
You're
maybe-
throwing garbage. You feel like you're feeding the animals like you're, freaking Snow White, and they're just like, oh, look at me. No, you're throwing garbage at them. They don't appreciate it.
I just feel like there's something wrong with the food and they don't smell it as
I don't
food.
think so. I don't think
see
that's
something else out there that I threw out there, like pieces of celery.
Yeah, you're not throwing them far enough. You need something to launch them.
Oh, I need a trash launcher.
Like a t-shirt.
Like a t-shirt gun. Just shoot carrots.
We are going back to shooting tomorrow, and we have a lot to shoot.
Yeah.
Because the way this whole thing worked out with like the locations and the people and, arrivals and how long people could be there and how long we could have locations. What we were hoping for it to be would be like, okay, 6 or 7 pages a day. There is a day that it was 22 pages.
Yeah.
But now it's more like 15.
Well, we had a day that before that was, I think, 21 or 22 pages.
Why are you telling these stories of these stupid things that we used to do?
Because we were stupid.
We were stupid. Well, Well, we only could afford the room one day.
No. It
Oh,
wasn't
not that one.
No, that one. Yes.
There was that one. Okay.
No, the thing was, it was a timeshare. And my sister-in-law got her friend to give it to us, but we could only be there for one day.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah. So we get there very early in the morning,
Very
right?
early, yeah.
And it's like a suite. There's like a little
it's
living
nice.
room and the bedroom.
Yeah, it's a pretty, basic,
Yeah.
a basically nice suite, you know.
But
Or it's like a Radisson, folks. You ever been to a Radisson?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but do you remember what happened? Because our camera stopped working.
Oh, that's right.
So we had this giant page day.
Yeah.
Where we only had the location one day.
Right.
And the camera was recording. We just couldn't see the playback as we were rolling.
Right.
So then I had to figure out a way to still shoot.
Right.
A very tight schedule.
We had
So
20 pages.
what we ended up doing was hooking up the camera to the television.
Oh, that was right. Yeah.
And I drug around the cord that was hooked
That's
to the TV
right.
the whole
So
time.
basically, it was like a monitor.
Yeah, and like
Right.
I remember I was shooting in the bathroom and the TV didn't move. So I was like, "Is it in focus?" And you're like, "It's in focus."
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is that when you're in a very small space and you have a lot of scenes in that, you just have to figure out like, okay, right here, that's like one location. Moving over here, that's like a second location.
Now it's day and now it's night.
Yeah, it's this location. And then,
It's like every little
my
corner
gosh,
is
yeah.
a location.
Thanks to our sponsor, Movie Mode Merch, the graphic t-shirt store to outfit you for your next film set. Be the person wearing the t-shirt everyone asks, "Hey, where'd you get that shirt?" Cast and crew alike love these inside jokes and filmmaking-inspired designs. Check them out on Insta at Movie Mode Merch.
We could have intelligently taken one of those scenes and let's say put them in a diner.
Yeah.
They could have been eating and having one of those conversations.
Right.
But some of them were very intimate, conversations.
They were the
that
kind
couples have.
They were the kind of conversations that a married couple has, kind of where it is free flowing and it goes from this subject to this subject to this subject to this subject. Kind of like our podcast, actually.
Yeah. Based on a true story, with the only having a day, having two actors with a shit ton of dialogue to deliver in minimal locations inside the room,
right?
With a camera that you couldn't use the viewfinder on that was tethered to a television,
right?
We still knocked off the pages.
We did.
What I'll say is we accomplished the pages.
Yeah.
It was not... good filmmaking.
I mean, it was, it made it into like what it became, which was just an informational scenes. We weren't able to create sort of a visual context, a layer of artistry, of a mood, along with it. You got people sitting on the bed eating Chinese food. That's life. Okay, that happens all the time.
Yeah, but there's no time to light it cool or do anything interesting or have light coming from the bathroom or, and have a lamp on. It was like bounce light up at the ceiling.
Right. Well, there's the guy who brought me onto this. Am I allowed to say his name? Because he's a really good guy. I'm going to say good things about him. Okay. His name is Lakota. And he is the cinematographer on this. And he has been the cinematographer for a couple of friends of mine in upstate New York. And on a couple of projects. He did that one, Meet Cute. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, that's like the best short film. I told him that's the best thing I've seen out of the Capital Region that wasn't ours. But anyway, that was kind of his reaction. John, you are such an arrogant ass. And Lakota has his friend Adam, and both of these guys, he's the gaffer, and Lakota is the cinematographer. And together, and that crew, man, boy, is this thing looking beautiful. I'm like going along going, man, I'm getting like Exorcist vibes on this lighting. Oh, I'm getting Terrence Malick vibes on this lighting. I'm getting Ari Aster vibes on this lighting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's looking so pretty. Yeah, because he really loves like the whole like the light coming through the window, but it's like super hazy thing. Mm-hmm. Which looks really cool.
Yeah,
you know,
a lot of
Kelvins of like, I'm not sure if Kelvin is the right word for it.
No, it's not.
Okay.
But I love saying Kelvin.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah. Kelvin Costner is my favorite. Tracy! What is a Kelvin? I don't even know. What is a Kelvin?
Alexa, what is a Kelvin?
The Kelvin, symbol K, is a unit of measurement for temperature.
Oh! It's a temperature.
The light temperature. Yeah, the
It's
temperature.
a light. It's a temperature. It's not like the luminescence or lumens.
Lumens.
Lumens. Yes. Lumens and kelvins. Kelvins
You're
and lumens.
teaching yourself.
I'm taking the time to teach myself. Exactly. Aside from all of the things that you're going to edit out of this, as we've gone along here, I swear to God, there have been like 5 times that she's like giving me looks like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Oh, you shouldn't have said that.
Well, I don't like to get too personal about other people.
But I'm saying good things.
I understand. Okay. It's just like if somebody were talking about me on a podcast, I wouldn't appreciate it.
Okay, so can we have like the director's cut sometimes of podcasts where we get all the nitty-gritty?
If the director wants to cut it, then it can be the director's cut.
That's the director's cut.
Yeah, when the director does the damn work.
Is the director's cut ever shorter?
No.
It's not.
No, it's never shorter.
It's never shorter.
No, and for the most part, they're never better.
Well, that's
even though
debatable.
I do like the director's cut of The Abyss.
That's true.
But some people hate it.
Yeah, when they're
the wall at the end of the water,
when they're using the giant wave as a TV, and they're putting I mean it makes the movie make more sense.
Yeah, when you don't have the aliens communicating
with the rest of the world,
it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, it just really shrinks down what is happening in the movie.
So when that doesn't happen, I think it's like Ed Harris's character comes back and he's supposed to be the messenger or something.
Yes.
And then that's why they don't kill everybody on the planet.
Yes, that Ed Harris ended up being a really great example, and the fact that he sacrifices himself for the aliens.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Ed Harris.
So that changes their mind.
He becomes like Ed Jesus.
Right. But is there any death to the whole planet in the non-director's cut?
Any depth?
Death. Like, are they going to kill? Like,
no.
Yeah, that whole plot line is gone.
Right. The idea that the aliens are going to send
tsunami.
Going to tsunami the entire
the planet.
world.
Yeah.
Yes, to create world peace. Ooh.
Don't you? No, this is the thing.
That's problematic, guys.
This is something that always annoys me about the depiction of aliens is that, or technology for that matter, like in Terminator, that the ultimate decision they all come to is the only way to get human beings to act better is to kill them all.
Right.
And that's biblical.
It's very Old Testament.
It's like the flood. Yeah, it's like the flood. Indigenous peoples, have stories of floods. And
some do.
There probably was some flood because Pangea is not so.
Well, okay. If you accept one thing, do you have to accept everything else?
No.
The timeline of the Bible, when there was the flood, either the timeline is completely fucked, or it didn't happen, or it's a representation.
Well, I don't know.
Or maybe there was a flood that felt like, oh yeah, this is a flood in my town. The entire world is flooded. Maybe it felt more like that.
Yeah. And I think as human beings, we tend to think that whatever's going on in this part of our consciousness is happening everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, the entire Middle East could have been totally flooded.
And how would you know?
Or all of Europe.
Back then.
Yeah, exactly.
You would know.
Yeah, you don't know if America is flooded. You don't know if Newfoundland is flooded. You don't know if...
literally would not know anything going on past what you could see.
Yeah. Japan had like freaking samurais at this point. Give me a break.
Dude, wasn't it Japan that they discovered like 300 more islands around?
Oh, really?
That their original survey had completely... Yeah, there's like islands that we've discovered that we didn't even know were there.
Are there like people on them and stuff?
No. But I did... And I think this
New Survivor.
Yeah, definitely. New Survivor.
Survivor, Japanese islands, yes.
Absolutely, there could be castaways who landed on some of those islands, or possibly,
I love that whole like thing where someone has been living in a cave and they still thought World War II, was being fought and things like that. Yeah. All those stories are
That's
really
my
crazy.
absolute favorite part of like Castaway, because all the stuff on the island I get a little bored with, but I love the stuff when he goes down, all the way up to when he goes down.
Right.
And then until he creating Wilson and all that, I get really bored of.
Okay.
But then once he's found, and he's like, I give up, and then he gets found, and he comes back.
Okay.
And the insensitivity of them putting out a seafood buffet for his arrival.
Okay, so your version of Castaway is the plane goes down.
Yeah.
He gets found by the boat.
Yeah.
And comes back.
Yeah.
That's not Castaway.
No, it's not. The whole
there is no actually Castaway part of Castaway.
I just think it could be faster. So I don't think we have.
That's not even a short film.
No,
what you're describing.
I don't even know the whole Castaway part. He's cast away a long time.
Yeah, that's the point, man. He completely transforms him.
Yeah,
he becomes friends with a volleyball.
Yeah, and then he knocks
He starts crying when he can't get to it. Oh my God.
It's just long in the tooth.
You missed Castaway. You absolutely missed the point of Castaway.
It is long in the tooth.
So is his beard.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I love Castaway. I do. But my favorite parts are the ones with Helen Hunt in it, because I love Helen Hunt.
Well, that's because you love Helen Hunt. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. That's right.
One other thing, though.
We got to get going.
I know. But one other thing, though. I watched this really awesome, kind of discovery documentary show about cloning the woolly mammoth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and them finding it, They've
been talking about that for a long time. Have they actually done this thing yet?
Well, what was interesting was when they found it, they were digging it out of the permafrost, and it was off this island, and I don't know what the hell people were doing out there.
New Japanese island, yeah.
No, but they saw tusks poking out of the snow.
Okay.
And whoa, that's weird.
That's probably from global warming, it melting down. Yeah, exactly.
So they pulled out.
That's the beginning of the thing, folks. Be careful.
No, it evidently was thought it was going up to drink some water, and it turned out to be kind of like quicksand.
Oh shoot!
So it went up, and its front legs started sinking down in.
Right.
So, because it went through that and froze, it was so perfect.
So it still
had red meat on it.
Okay.
A dude sliced off a piece of meat and ate it.
Wow. Okay.
I was like,
that must have been interesting.
Whoa, this is weird, dude.
Yeah.
But when they were getting it out, this ooze started to come out of it that looked like oil.
Right?
But no, that was the blood. It still had blood in it.
So they are taking...
That's how all of that's possible.
They're taking the DNA of this, oozy, mammothy deliciousness.
Right, and then
they're
I think it's an Indian elephant that they're putting it with to be the mother, because they're similar in size. The woolly mammoth that they found they determined over 60 years old.
Don't use frog DNA, because...
No, don't do that.
Say that.
But
that doesn't work.
It was so cool because she was older than 60. They knew that she had 8 calves.
Wow.
Which would have made her, in their imagination, like a matriarch. there was one that was really cool because, like, in her tusk, it tells the story, just like the rings of a tree, of what she went through. And they saw one that looked like she had maybe become pregnant and carried it for a little while, because, you know, their gestation period's just as long as an elephant. And that's a really long gestation period. But that maybe something happened and the baby died.
Wow.
So she didn't actually give birth. That's fascinating.
You really, really watched this show.
Oh, God. I was
some
just
serious watching going on.
This is me watching it.
You know what?
You know the thing I wanted to be?
We wouldn't have watched the show if I was here.
If you were here, we would not have watched it.
We would not have watched this show.
I think it was the 11th grade, I was fully and utterly convinced I wanted to be a geneticist.
Oh.
Because when we started learning about
maybe I'll get
genetics...
Maybe I'll get you CRISPR for Christmas.
Don't.
CRISPR for Christmas. Let's make some freaks.
It's a CRISPR Christmas. when I was looking at genes and the sequencing and everything,
yes,
it's like the shapes of things that I'm really attracted to.
Right.
And it looks like editing.
It does look like it. Well, they call it gene editing.
Yeah.
They call it splicing. Yes, and that's what you do when you edit.
Yeah, and exactly.
But you want to do it with human beings.
Well, if it were a zombie apocalypse, I might start genetically modifying things. I might.
Okay. So, folks, if you are out there and you see some sort of abomination of nature that comes across your way,
that's my issue with CRISPR.
You can look straight at Tracy because she got CRISPR for Christmas.
Well, that's my problem with CRISPR is the people who are out there doing it in their sheds and their garages. Mm-hmm. The waste product from their little modifications.
It's always the waste product, isn't it?
They're like throwing them away.
It's always the waste product.
It's going to create the Toxic Avenger eventually.
Exactly. It's like when you let one anaconda out in Florida, and now we got anaconda hunts because there's so many goddamn anacondas in Florida.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's like close to their environment. It's the environment they thrive in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Apex predator. You're
like that movie Anaconda with what's his name?
Yeah, it is John Boyd.
Is it Angelina Jolie's dad?
Yes, John Boyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of wacky.
He's got it. He's got a really terrible accent in it.
Isn't he like really creepy and like conservative?
And it's not Radon Chong. They actually got no, it's not Paula Abdul.
Is it J-Lo?
Yeah, it's J-Lo. Yeah, J-Lo's in it.
God, were you just gonna go through all of those?
Hispanic actresses.
Was it Rosie Perez?
Yes, it was Rosie. Rosie Perez, Radon Chong, J-Lo.
But I don't think Radon Chong is what you're saying she is.
I don't know what she is.
She's ethnically ambiguous.
Aren't we all?
It's hard not to get romantic about movies. Thanks for listening to Married to Movies. Jon and Tracy will meet you for breakfast tomorrow. Thanks to our sponsor, Movie Mode Merch, comfortable graphic tees made by and for awesome filmmakers to wear on set and off. Check them out on Insta at Movie Mode Merch.